I'm going crazy. 무뎌져.
She was walking back and forth in her room, continuously chewing her side lip. Just then, her gaze fell upon the clock in her room wall that was striking 11 o'clock at night. Then her gaze shifted to her backpack placed over her bed. She finally encouraged herself, breathing in and out, called her best friend, Isabella. What's going on? Why are you calling me at this hour? Isa, I can't take it anymore. I'm running away. What? Wine, slow down. Tell me what's happening. I can't go through with this wedding, Isa. It's not what I want. I'm running away from home. They can't understand me. Wine, are you sure about this? Yes, Isa, I'm sure. I need to chase my own dreams, not someone else. Please help me. I'll be there as soon as I can, Wine. We'll figure this out together. Just keep informing me about your whereabouts. As Ryan walked away from her home, her heart pounding with the weight of her decision, she had no idea where escape would lead her to. They parked on the dimly lit street, whose car inside it sat a man she didn't know. She stopped when she saw one of her house helpers walking behind her home. Quickly, she ran to the car and hurriedly opened the car door, sitting on the passenger seat. The owner of the car was staring at her in confusion. "Excuse me?" One gulped inside when she saw that she was safe now. She then looked at the man in front of her, who was maybe a bit older than her. "Sorry, Mr. Jungkook, John Jungkook." "Oh, sorry, Mr. Jungkook, I'm Jung Ban, and I'm really sorry about sitting like this in your car, but I don't have any other option." Jung's eyebrows twitched, and Wan knew what he was thinking about. She thought about telling him the truth, as he looked like a well-behaved man. His eyes were enough to assure her that she is safe. I'm running away from home." "What?" Wan nodded, ruffling her hair back. "My parents are forcing me to marry someone, and I don't want to marry that early. Instead, I want to pursue my medical studies. I'm a second-year medical student." "Oh, so you can study after getting married too?" Wan shook her head. "Never ever. Life doesn't remain the same as before. I know they did the same with my elder sister, and she's taking care of her few months' son instead of pursuing her independent career." He was not even thinking about how much personal talk she was having with the stranger, but he was carefully hearing and memorizing each word she was letting from her mouth. "And do you know whom you are going to marry?" "No, I don't even want to know. It would be okay for me if they had married me with the same person after I had completed my studies." But Chung nodded his head. "Now where would you go?" As he asked that question, Wan came to her senses. "Yes, where would I go now?" she thought. She can't even go to Isabella, as her parents are best friends with her parents, and she doesn't even have enough money to go somewhere else. I don't know." Chung sighed and rubbed his temple. Wan don't know whom she is sitting with and what's going on in his mind. Chung, who was a self-made man, he wasn't handling his parents' business but working on his own. He was an adventurous guy who only did what he wanted to. No one can stop him from doing what he wishes to do. You can name him as Bread too. That was the name he was famous for, and his relatives and those people who personally know him. And currently the situation was less than an adventure for him. He knew that his girl is the same girl his parents wanted him to marry in a week, but still he was sitting with her while she was running from her home. "I have an idea, Miss Changwayan." As they settled into Chung's apartment and spoken tension lingered between them, Chung couldn't shake the knowledge that Ryan was the very person he was supposed to marry in a week. Yet here he was helping her escape from the same wedding. Yeah, in his apartment. He offered her this safe place, and she didn't have any other options, so she agreed. Fate certainly has a funny way of bringing people together. Ryan meanwhile knew she had to contact Isabella to ensure her best friend's safety. She dialed Isa's number and relayed the message about her whereabouts. "Isa, I need you to come to this apartment tomorrow. It's safe here." "Ryan, are you okay? What happened?" "I'm fine, Isa. I'll explain everything when you get here." After the call, Chung turned to Ryan, a hint of concern in his eyes. "Ryan, you should freshen up and make yourself comfortable. It's been a long night." "Thank you, Jungkook. Ryan, your determination is admirable. You're brave for chasing your dreams like this." With a smile, Jung offered her some privacy. Wan made her way to guest room to freshen up, leaving Jungkook alone with his thoughts. Time to call my friends and let me blow their minds by the news. When Jungkook informed his friends about the situation, they reacted with shock and disbelief at first. They couldn't believe he was helping Wan escape her own wedding. However, after some heated discussion, they decided to support him in this unexpected adventure. The next day, Wan was welcomed by a good breakfast place over shelf. Pancakes and strawberry milkshake that was prepared for Jungkook. Jungkook, you don't need to do this for me. You already did so much for me, she said to him, who was standing on the other side of the shelf wearing an apron. You said, I'm only doing this for you. It's my routine. I prepare my own breakfast daily, so it's not a big issue. Come sit. He gestured for her to sit and have breakfast. While they were having breakfast, Jung was noticing her eyes gesture and actions. Her eyes, her particular nose, her little cheeks, and her gaze stopped because mine was crossing the limits of pure gaze at this level. He quickly diverted his gaze. Jungkook, yes, can you do me another favor, please? She looked at him with pleaded eyes. With a chuckle, he nodded. What favor, dear? She blinked her eyes at that tear, but ignoring it, she continued talking. Can you find the guy my parents wanted me to marry? Jung coughed at her question. She quickly passed him a glass of water. Are you okay? Jung nodded back, closing his mouth. Why you want me to find him? You see, if he agrees with me, then our parents can't do anything. She stopped placing the fork on plate, her eyes slowly getting wet and more softer. They're still my family, my parents. I can't be a bad daughter to them too. Somehow they also want my happiness too, right? But I just can't understand this fact. If I met that guy, I would request him to wait for me if he can. You will to marry? Yeah, I will request him to let me be independent first and then I will marry him. As he's my parents' choice, I'm not even interested in someone else either. Jung who wanted to wipe those flowing crystals from her eyes, but what if I convinced that guy? Wan's eyes widen a little. You will how? You don't even know him either. What will you tell him about talking on behalf of me? Jung's lip corner twitched. He was staring directly into her eyes. So what if we don't know each other and we don't have a name relation? Fine, listen, for me, these all are formalities that humans just live with. More than these relations, I believe in humanity. And there wouldn't be a big emotion than humanity. I noticed how mature Jung was in his talks are on another level. His presence was somehow a relief for her in this situation. Sure, you can give it a try. Jung sighed in relief at her answer. After a while, Isabella came and Wan explained everything to her. Just then the apartment bell rang. Jung wasn't at the apartment, so Wan got up and opened the door. She saw two young men standing in front of her. They were looking almost the same age as Jungkook. Yes, sister, out. Hello, I'm Kim Taeyang, and he's Park Jimin. We are Jungkook's childhood best friends. Wan's forehead wrinkled. She nodded. Oh, then, welcome. She just let them in the apartment and closed the door behind them. When she turned, she saw a gay drama going on. Isabella, who was sitting on the sofa, was frozen just like Taeyang, while Jimin was just confused like Ryan. He leaned to whisper, have they met before? I don't think so. We are here for Romeo and Juliet, not your second-hand staring drama. He spoke making Isante look away with embarrassed faces. Romeo and Juliet, she whispered to herself in a questioning sense. So what do you think about her, Jungkook? Jimin was busy talking with Ryan while Taeyang and Isa were exchanging gazes. As Jimin asked this question, Jung unlocked the apartment door and entered. Ryan was so focused on his question that she didn't notice Jungkook. About Jungkook, he's good as a human, as a man personally, if I say. Whoever he's gonna marry or love will be the luckiest person ever. Jung's personality somehow is a suspicious, impressive type. Hearing this, Jung chuckled silently, looking at his feet with a smile. He realized parents' choice for him wasn't only good but very great. Suddenly cleared his throat, catching the attention of four humans present there. Jungkook quickly got up and faced him with a strange expression when he saw her face and then her eyes. She was questioning him for what he went for. Even if it was only being a day they met, he can read her like an open book. She was so simple but so emotionally effective for him. He never looked into someone's eyes before with this interest. I talked. Those two words were enough to skip her heartbeat. Then what did he said? Jung shrugged his shoulders, one facial expression were getting more and more softer with worries. He agreed. And again those words skipped her heartbeat, but this time taking away a load from her shoulder. With a jump, she smiled and hugged him, wrapping her arms around his shoulder. He was shocked but overwhelmed by her joy. They say when her joy becomes your joy and her tears become your pain, then you should know that you have fallen into the trap of love. His arms crossed on her waist softly. Her scent was so calm that it was giving weird peace to him. Thank you so much. I don't know how to pay back to you for what you have done for me, she said while still hugging him. Now your presence is enough gift for me. After her day went back to her home, she got scolded by her parents, but somehow they were calm as the guy himself told them that he could wait for their daughter and that they should have understood their daughter's emotion instead of forcing her. When Vine heard this, she was happy that the guy her parents chose for her was sensible, just like Jungkook. She was missing him too, and she wanted to tell her parents what he did for her, but for a while she decided to stay quiet when her mother, who was sitting in the living room with her father and siblings, said something that made Vine shocked. Vine, Jungkook is a very thoughtful guy. Now you have seen yourself how much he cares for you. He's even ready to wait for you. What?